All right, let's take a look at deploying applications. First, we'll take a look at deploying an application with Groupolicy, and then we'll take a look at deploying an application with Windows Intune. Okay, now to start off with Groupolicy, what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a brand new GPO, Groupolicy object, for the application deployment. Okay, so I'm going to select create a GPO in this domain and link it here. Okay, and we'll call it app deployment. Okay, and that will create the Groupolicy object for us. Okay, now at this point, I'm going to come to the GPO here. I'm going to right click and select edit. Okay, now you'll see that we have a computer configuration along with a user configuration. Okay, now in this demo we'll do the user configuration. Okay, but if I go under policies, we're going to see software settings. Now I also want to show you that this exact same thing is under the computer configuration. Okay, so where do you want to deploy? Okay, now this is what we discussed on the previous slide before the demonstration here. Okay, but you'll see that they have the same exact settings here. Okay, but I do want to point one thing out. Now if I go to properties on the software installation under the computer configuration, we will see that publish is grayed out because it is not an option. Okay, now from there, I just wanted to point that out. Okay, we're going to focus more on the user configuration. Okay, now on the server here, I have a shared folder called software. Okay, and then I do have a .msi file in there that I'm going to use for my demonstration. Okay, so technically that is going to be my distribution point for this example. Okay, so the content in a shared folder. Okay, so I'm going to right click software installation and go to properties, and then I'm going to clarify the path of where my source files are located for the application. Okay, so this will be a UNC path / computer name / share name. Okay, and I called that folder software. Now I can pick whether I want to publish or assign right in here. Okay, but we can also do it on a per package basis. So if I do it here, that means every package we add is going to do that deployment type. Okay, so if I don't clarify it here, it will ask me every single time I add an application. Okay, so I'm going to go and select OK, and then I'm going to right click software installation, select new package. Okay, now at this point I have the Microsoft Baseline Security Analyzer. Now this is one of the ones I demoed earlier on Comp 1, okay, but I'll demo it on a Client 3 today. Okay, so we're going to grab this application, okay, which is a .msi by the way, okay, Windows installer file. Okay, and it's going to ask us, do we want to publish, assign, or advance? Now, advanced, meaning you're probably going to do profiles or scripting with it. Okay, something we didn't really get into in this course. Okay, so I'm going to do assign and OK. Now, we see the package appear right above. Okay, and you'll see the deployment state is assigned. And then I can right-click the app. Okay, and you'll see auto install. Okay. But from there, I can always change my mind and publish or remove it or even redeploy the app if need be. Okay, so if we make some changes to the source files or anything like that. Okay, but what I'm going to do is go to properties. Okay, and we can also do upgrades, just kind of throw that in there. So if we get a new version, you know, from 2.1 to maybe 2.5 or 3.0, then we can really add the upgraded version. First, we remove the old version and then apply the new version. Okay, just figured I would point that out. Okay, but I'm going to come to the General tab here. Okay, and at this point it shows me the app, which I could give it a different name. Okay, and then from there, I'm going to go to the Deployment tab. Okay, you'll see that the status is assigned. Okay, but if I come down here, install this application at logon, that is the checkbox that I was trying to convey on the one bulleted point in the slide. Okay, so at this point, I'm going to do apply and OK. I'm going to close out Groupolicy, And then I'm going to force group policy to kick in effect a little bit quicker. Okay, now it can take up to 5 minutes to propagate on a domain controller and up to an hour and a half on a client. So I'm going to do a GP update space /force to have the policy kick in immediately. Okay, and you'll see it is asking me to log off, okay, which is a good sign. And I point that out because it will not always ask you to log off. It depends on what policy setting you configured inside the GPO. Okay, so I'll go ahead and log off of this one. And it is going to assign it to the domain controller as well, because the way I did the policy, it would be everybody in the actual domain. Okay, so I'm going to log back onto my domain controller here. Okay, and you'll see applying software. So it's installing it right now. And of course, it would do this for every computer in the domain. Okay, and there is the shortcut for the application. Okay, so it's pretty straightforward, with group policy, but it does have limitations. It can only do .msi, .msps, and then .msts, which is transformation, and that would be more for the advanced options there. Okay, and then just real quick, I want to do this on the client as well. Okay, so if I bring up my Windows 10 client, okay, and we do the same thing here, we're going to do a CMD, okay, to refresh the policy. Okay, so I'm just going to bring up command prompt here. Maybe. We'll just try that a different way here. Okay, so we're going to do a GP update space /force. Okay, and same thing. We'll log off here. And of course, log right back on. Now I am the administrator here, but it doesn't matter what user at this point. Okay, now it didn't show us actually installing the app, but you will see the shortcut right there. Okay, but that would be app deployment with group policy.